Morning or afternoon or evening, guys, depending on where you are in the world. Uh, yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, let's get into it. Thank you so
Alright.
much for being here, guys. Really appreciate everyone for taking the time and for everyone that submitted a question for us to answer. It's really fantastic to see that we've got the kind of community that would love to get involved and kind of get their thoughts heard. And we definitely want to let you know that we have been able to respond to a lot of them and that we're looking into everything that's coming. So I think we'll be able to get started pretty much straight away. I will say, please, for the moment, don't add any questions in chat just yet because I'm a bit worried that we'll miss them. I will give a warning when we're kind of getting towards the end of the prepared questions from people that have posted in the channel, and then we'll be able to add some from chat and kind of finalise the AMA based on that, if that's okay. All right, let's get started. So, the first question we've got is from Chairman Bao. He says, will the development of PSS1 continue past version 1.0? Will there still be new content for PSS1 after that?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So yeah, we go through this on every AMA, but yeah, to reaffirm PSS1 is gonna be continued in development and also content, just as it was in version 0.9 and earlier. There's a bit of echo coming through. Is that?
I'm trying to mute this, but it doesn't let me do it.
Okay, sorry. One more second. We'll wait for that.
Just leave it. What do you do?
Okay, I think we're.
No, it's on the comments.
Okay, yeah.
Any more tech issues? Any more technical issues with no? Okay.
Okay.
I do apologise then for that, guys. A bit of last minute stuff. We had some really important stuff this morning that kind of got in the way of testing, but hopefully that should be it from now on. I just want to jump in on Zin's answer as well. There's a lot that we haven't even been able to announce yet, and there's some stuff that we have announced that we won't be including in 1.0, but that we followed up in 1.1 and 1.2. To be quite frank, and I don't want to get people too excited, but I'm quite hyped. 1.1 and 1.2 are probably the bigger updates that we'll be looking forward to. That's when we get past making everything polished, making sure everything's working, and then we're kind of pushing more towards brand new features that we've been working on for a long time and new gameplay elements rather than polishing off that everything's been worked on for quite a while now. So definitely something to look into there. Thank you for the question though, Chairman Bao. Great
Well
name,
said.
by the way. All right, just for the next question, it's the Dalai Lama. Great to see him again. Any plans on adding additional androids for the mech bay? Kildare, I think this would be a good one for you if that's okay.
Yeah, so with the Androids, we do have a couple of like ideas and like things that we have in mind. It's just that they're not quite high on priority at the moment. But it's definitely something we're planning to do in the future. So just keep an eye out for that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
That'll
I
be
think
really
for the roadmap, that it's a bit of a deviation from the question, but the next update is mainly on ship level 13. So
Definitely.
Everything's revolve around the ship level 13 update, which is the next question anyway. So
Yeah, well,
a couple of questions. Okay.
Definitely. Okay, hopefully that answers your question, Dalai Lama. There'll also be completely new Android types. It won't just be levels of the same existing. Looking at something or a few options, I think, at this stage that are completely different and add a new element of gameplay, or at least hopefully strategic options. So we'll kind of announce a bit more once we've got some more testing done. I'm not really sure that either of us are happy with some of the testing at the moment. We need to make sure that they're useful and not just edge case. All right, so the next question is from Spark. It's just basically directed towards you, Zin, if that's okay.
Okay.
Will we have time to adjust tournament?
Oh, no.
Everyone's kind of worried about where it is currently, and we have mentioned it a couple of times in AMA. Will we be focusing on tournament anytime soon?
Well, this is the tough question because this one's come back a fair few times, and we did 3 kind of rebuilds or redesigns of tournament, but it's still not at a state where everyone's like 100% happy with. I think again for the next update, it's about ship level 13. So we wanna be 100% focused on the ship level 13 gameplay. So I think in the next 3 months, no, we just don't have time to look into the tournament, but maybe towards the end of the year. And I know several people have sent in tournament pretty detailed pitches. So I think we'll review the pitches we've discussed with Vincent. Most of the ones that's been sent through have picked out issues, and also it's also about a development time frame as well. So
Yeah.
if there's a really good proposal, I think we'll look very seriously at doing it, but after ship level 13. Yeah.
I think the design team has a couple of ideas that we'd like to implement to improve things as well, but as Zin said, there's been so many really great feedback posts, so please keep those coming. We do read them all, and as Zin says, we're going to be able to review them all when we take a view at this in the future. The thing about tournament at the moment is sinking more time into redoing it doesn't make sense when we can, after a few months, once ship level 13 is out, be able to totally focus on it and just fix it completely, get it to where we want, and then never have to revisit it. Something that players can actually enjoy rather than, bits and pieces of one or the other. So definitely a good question. Thank you for underlining that for us, Spark. It's a two-parter. There's another question in here. When will Spice Trader be updated with new and usable items? Good question. This is coming relatively soon. Now, I want it to be before ship level 13. I'm going to be working towards that. I think there's a question a little further on which will help to explain this as well. So the items themselves, definitely not just repair items, and we want to add a wider variety of items that aren't normally accessible. So I can't really say too much else, but yes, that will be relatively soon. Over the next coming months, 2 to 3 months, I think we can definitely have that instated. All right, next question is from Deloitte. Thank you for helping me with that pronunciation, by the way. Is level 13 planned to be the final level for ships, or do you think we can go even higher?
I think there's no set limit for the final ship level.
Sky's the limit. Okay.
But every level of ship, the important thing is to have some different gameplay mechanic. We've done that with every previous level. I think we launched the game with originally at level 9 or so. So it was we introduced 10, 11, 12.
Prestige, super weapons.
Yeah.
All
and I think Vincent wants to add to it, but yeah, every single ship level we've coupled it with 1 to 2 key gameplay strategy changes, and 13 is very much the same. We've got some drastic tactic updates for players, and if we do at level 14 down the road, we wouldn't be just for the sake of increasing a ship level. It would be coupled with meaningful content.
Yeah, I just want to further clarify. When we say like there's no limit, that in terms of the amount of levels, yes, but we do also have some concerns in terms of technical stuff, like some of the things is we can't increase the number of grids, like the size of the ship too much, so that at some point that will probably be like a bottleneck. But we will look into having different things in other places, like maybe the HP or some other thing, like other mechanic, as Zin has mentioned. So that's something that we will have to consider moving forward.
I think the bigger issue isn't the technical bottleneck or performance, because we're not doing something so crazy that's like a million things happening on the battle, but it's more the game is about the captain being able to control micro control elements of the ship, and once that ship becomes bigger than a certain size, it becomes not manageable. And so I think the features we're gonna add at each level are gonna add to that strategy element without breaking the core concept of the game. Yeah.
So always focusing on the gameplay, what we can improve, rather than just adding on a number.
I think so. I think so. And we can. We're probably not going to keep growing the grids, because that's eventually going to make the game a bit too complicated to control. But we'll put different features. And level 13 is a very good example of this. We haven't formally announced how that system works, but I think everyone knows there's the combination power-up room coming soon. So yeah.
All right, cool. I think you just gave away the adjacent room.
Well, we mentioned this on the last end as well. Yeah.
All right, great question, Deloitte. Thank you for that. Just off to the next player, Jeff PPG. Are there going to be more star systems to explore for level 12 and 13? So for level 12, 13, no. We are going to be making use of underutilized systems that people have barely used or visited once or twice. Down the track, yes, but I don't want to say anything else there as to where they're going to be or what they're going to be or how we're going to be able to access them. But there is a lot of changes that are planned in the pipeline, just not in level 13, I'm afraid. The next question is from Matabuelitas 3000. Any plan to weaken telespam? Now that's a good question. I might shoot that to Kildare.
So with this one, it's a bit of a controversial topic, as everyone probably knows who's up to date to this issue. So we do have some plans to manage to address the issue essentially, but we're just trying to avoid doing direct nerfs because we feel that number one, it's not an interesting way to do it. It's fairly boring. So we want to do like more things like to like direct counters, for example, and stuff like that. Like specifically anti-teleportation rooms or modules. Yeah. So we're still working on it. Nothing's finalized yet. Yeah, but definitely it's something that we are keeping in mind at this time. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like the extra rooms, extra modules, that kind of line of thought because it gives you more strategic options. So definitely, that's very interesting. Thank you for your question, Mata.
Oh, and I just want to mention for anyone new joining AMA, yeah, Vincent's also to the side in case you're wondering where that sound's coming from.
No, I'm just I just equipped my the most latest cloaking technology, so you just can't see me. I'm actually in between Toma and Zin at the moment. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm gonna sneak in like a hidden camera. So
so we can get secret pictures of Kildare.
We'll add that as an extra stream.
All right, fantastic. Great question as well. Thank you for that. We'll just keep things moving on for the moment, but I think now's a good time, guys. If you do have any questions of your own, please start adding them to the chat, and we'll do our absolute best to be able to respond to those at the end of the normal written questions. And thank you again for everyone that took the time to write their question out beforehand. It means that we can just make sure that we're able to address them rather than missing any. I do apologize if we do miss any questions from the chat, but we will do our absolute best. All right, question from Anna Gannon. How many people are actively working on the development of PSS1?
Well, we have like a core team plus a number of people helping us, right? So I think on the core we're about 6-7 people, and there's 3-4 CMs and then actually beyond that we have some outsourced team as well. So altogether, yeah, it's probably a dozen people that work on it every week. Yeah.
There is, you're quite. I think it's 7 or 8 of us in the building now. That's
in the building, yeah.
Purely focused on PSS1. A couple of people like artists may move around a little, but it's generally all our focus is PSS1. And as you mentioned, I would like to reach out and thank Kuro Ishii, Drama Lama, Tylo, and our mods as well. So Kane, Spabby. Actually, there's a whole load of them. You may have noticed some of their characters are in game. We've got Blackbeard. We've got. Look, I won't mention too many at the moment because I'll just be listing forever. I do apologise heading down that path, but I will link those as well to show our appreciation. So keep an eye out in the announcements channel as well.
Yeah, and actually this list one, because we obviously had a look at the full list of questions. There's a couple of new people helping out with on the social media side coming up, and as well like Tash and the team. Yeah, so there's probably 3 or 4 new names going to be bouncing around as well, right?
Start seeing them on Discord and things like that. So keep an eye out, guys. It is a good thing. More hands means more work is able to be put in and quicker and at a better quality. So that's something we're really excited about. Okay, let's keep things moving. Thank you, Anna, for that question. Next question is for Sarada Alpha. With the addition of new rooms and collections, are there any plans of improving the base faction collections, so Fed, Katarian and Pirate? At this stage, one thing that we wanted to do is make sure that each of them have a different collection bonus. I believe it's Headshot, and Combat Medic at the moment. So we may look at changing that, to be honest with you, but so far as giving them entirely new collection bonuses and traits, I'm afraid that's not on the cards just for the moment. The only thing that I would like to see is that each faction has its own rather than 2 sharing them. But we'll be able to look at that, I think, in the future and run it through testers. If you would like to test new content, please reach out to Kildare in the Discord, and you can also join the tester submission channel as well, which I'll link after this. All right, thank you for that, Sarada. Just heading down to the next question. It's another one from Anna. Any updates on the progress with implementing level 13? So a rough timeline. I think we already kind of answered that, really.
Yeah, it's maybe we need to put it on our blog and roadmap, but it's later this year, right? It's in the next quarter, actually. So very close.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than people may think.
Yeah.
But we're going to be extremely busy and focused on not just getting the content in and polished, but testing as well, because we want to make sure our releases are a lot more stable moving forward. It's been a really core focus of the team and something we've really had to knuckle down on.
Yeah, I mean, we know the last release didn't go super smooth, and there was a lot of complaining, rightfully so. So I think level 13, our main goal is make sure we release the update without any new bugs being introduced.
Well said. Yeah. Well said. Totally agree with that. Okay, the next question is from Cassiopeia343. Any plans to rebalance gas relative to minerals? Currently, gas is needed to both recruit 3-star crew and to level them up. Minerals are comparatively useless. Zin, I think this would be a good one for you.
No, for me. Oh, no, I didn't see this one. Okay. Can I pass?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry, I forfeit that question.
No, that's okay. There are already. You might not be aware. There are already increased uses for minerals coming in. I can't guarantee that it will increase their value to the same level as gas, but that is certainly one of our goals.
I mean, it's also from the beginning. It's been kind of intentional that the value of minerals is going to be lower than gas inherently. So I mean, it's a bit of a hard one there. I guess like moving forward, I guess we could try to think of like tying minerals more to new mechanics maybe.
I think that's a good approach.
Completely agree.
I think it's good raising this because some of these questions have been raised maybe 3-4 months ago, but just to raise it again if you feel like we haven't addressed it yet, because then that allows us to reprioritize. Yeah.
We do tend to focus on many things at the same time, so it's always good for a bit of a reminder.
And I mean, the last update, there was so much interesting mechanics with collections that we didn't need to really look into another mineral thing. And probably level 13, we don't need to look into minerals because there's a bunch of new rooms that needs to be built. And
minerals will definitely be in high demand.
Yeah.
I mean, the list of new rooms is
it ultimately just be temporary. It's just more of something.
Completely agree.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Well said. All right, good question. Thank you for that, Cassiopeia. The next question is from Pious Flea. Love that name. When CRISPR and collections were released, it was mentioned that we would get some way to obtain additional copies of Special Crew. Oh yeah, is this still planned for the game, and what types of currency will we use to purchase Special Crews? Okay, so this one is definitely arriving to the game. This is part of what I wanted to talk about regarding the Spice Traders. There will be a Spice Trader exclusively focused on adding crews to the game. These will be unobtainable crews, so things like special crews and things like that. As far as currencies, there will be a mix of different currencies, but I'm not able to disclose exact values at the moment, just kind of balancing that out and making sure that everything works correctly. We also want to make sure that it's rotating correctly. We might even consider alternate places as well. Secondarily, and I think I've already mentioned this, a popular request was to get access to old Battle Season crew. Now those will be included in the new Spice Trader, but there's also a new section that will be arriving on our website that allows you to purchase past Battle Seasons, and you'll get all of the content at once if you didn't purchase it already. So it should stop players from double purchasing, because we don't want to kind of give an unfair advantage there, but it will allow you to go back if you missed one or if you felt that you weren't able to complete and purchase it that way. That's more of a temporary fix though. These will still be available in game through other methods. Hopefully that helps answer the question. Thank you for that, Pious Flea. Another one, I believe last AMA it was mentioned that there would be some rebalancing coming to GA, whether direct or more indirect. This is a great question. So I'd like to address this one if I can. Yes, there definitely is. GA has been something that has been a core focus, particularly mine, for a long, long time. If we look at balance, even statistically, based on stat weighting and stat attribution, this character really is one of the outliers, right? And it's been something that we've been focusing on for quite some time. We've already addressed some of the problem by introducing new counters with the collection bonuses. Kind of still reviewing data on how that is performing, but I still don't feel that it's performing as well as it should. We're also looking as our next point of kind of reviewing this and taking an approach to not so much directly nerfing the character, but adding alternate strategies to deal with the character, because we don't want to undo or undermine the amount of effort players have put into gathering this crew. Will be some of the changes that come to teleport. Now, as Kildare mentioned before, some of these will include counters to the teleport strat itself. Beyond that, there is another couple of points that I can't really go into too deeply at the moment. One of them will be the way that we handle fire resistance in the game and fire damage in the game. In particular, I would like to give a little bit of a teaser. It will include the function of sprinklers and sprinkler systems on ships. So we just need to take these step by step. It's much better than kind of nerfing this character or completely ruining it for everyone, or even worse, cutting it down to the knees only to have to build it back up slightly. So we don't want to overcorrect. We are taking our time with it. However, be aware that the efficacy of GA is not going to be as overpowered in the near future. So just want to make that clear for everyone. Thank you for that question though. Let's see, where are we up to? I've lost where I am.
I think we're up to here.
Somlabed?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question's from Somlabed. Will it be possible to transfer the doghouse to PSS2? When do I have to buy a doghouse to transfer it to PSS2?
Wow,
That's an interesting question.
that's really good racing. How fun that doghouse room is. Just
It's because of the bedroom.
Yeah. Okay. We need to do some work on that. I think the state of PSS2 at the moment, we're coming pretty close to I mean, the alpha's out, the beta's out. They're really like test versions. We want to get like a soft launchable a version where more people can experience it and test the core mechanics. That's where PSS2 is at right now. It's probably like 12 months plus away from public release. We've left some of these kind of nice assets till later in the development process, because we want to make sure the core game is pretty solid first. So, but that's a really good suggestion. We'll have to get back on that one. We'll probably post in the Kickstarter channels. Yeah.
Oh, cool. What's your favorite new?
Oh, bring my dog. Juicy is right here. Can we bring her in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's
quite a request.
That's a good request.
Yeah,
All right.
Would you like to read the next
Don't
question?
go.
They're not asking us to bring the dog, just answering the question.
No, let's bring the dog in anyway. We want to bring in the dog.
If you want to keep asking the questions.
Okay. Well, the next one's from Vincent. Okay, great. So this one's from Cassiopeia. For Vincent. Are there any plans for more AI commands to eventually be included in the Quatarian Python research?
Quantum Python.
Oh, Quantum Python research, sorry.
That's the new research.
Yeah.
So at the moment, there's no new AI plan yet, but I won't discard it because usually the AIs they usually get added as players suggested, or if we think of something. But at the moment, there's nothing new planned yet. But definitely, if there's any new AIs, they will go into that research, just not at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer. Okay. And I think we're up to the last one. Sorry, Thomas just out trying to catch our dog. So yes, we'll make a doggo appearance. Now she doesn't wanna. Oh well. She's just not in the mood.
Well, no, she's having a snooze in the sun, and
Okay.
I did not have the heart to wake her up. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
oh
I
no.
should have, but I just couldn't.
Cool. So I think we're up to the last like pre-written question.
Okay.
So
Cat Carrier.
you can read it, or I
Yeah,
can.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay. From Cat Carrier. This is an interesting question. From external Googleable data, the player base has halved since June 2023. How true or not is this? My community has definitely felt an overall decrease in new players. What are Savvy's plans to reach out and advertise their game to increase the amount of new players? Or do you think your current advertisements are not as effective as they could be? That's probably a good question for Zen.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think the player base hasn't halved, but it's definitely gone down a little bit. Most of the drop have been the non-US market. We've had a previously a very big audience in Russia, in China. So those like the Russian player base is still mostly in the game, but there's restrictions on obviously transactions. So there's been a drop off in activity. China, there's a separate server in China, so a lot of the China players are on the other server, which is not reflected in the Google stats. But I mean, our monthly users is about 100,000. That's like there's room to improve because our total download base in Pixel Starships is over 10 million. So we have over 10 million accounts. There's a lot of new players coming in, but there's also some players that's probably dropped off at some stage, and they're waiting for some meaningful new content or gameplay mechanics. We haven't done, we haven't been very deliberate in re-engaging players that had been playing and paused. So I think we'll do better at communicating these updates out to players. There's a couple of new people we've been working with like last 2-3 months. Tash's team and Mohammed, they're all gonna try and help this out. I think Trent, one of the players, wants to help with some of the social media. So we'll try and we haven't done very well, I think, in terms of communicating some of our updates other than the blog. But you look at the blog if you are active, but you probably look at the social media if you were just on a hiatus, right? Yeah, so I think we've got room to improve that.
Okay,
yeah.
I think that's a good answer. And the thing I like about just a little bit of a preliminary review at some of the new advertisements coming is they are based on the gameplay.
Yeah.
They're based on how you can improve your strategy and what it's like to overcome a blocker or a certain captain that you can't defeat.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because advertising in mobile games isn't usually the best, but this is actually what players will be doing in the game, which is nice. It feels authentic, which is great.
Yeah, and probably the thing we can do is all the updates we've done and the upcoming updates. I mean, the core game we think is like one of the best hardcore strategy games for people who played it above level 6. And the new updates are designed to make that more interesting. So how can we communicate those new functions to players who are not reading the blog? I think we've got to do that.
Yeah, definitely have a bit of a look at the social media side of things.
I just saw Sherry. I'm gonna ask her if she's getting the Uber.
She will be.
Okay, she's got the Uber.
Yeah,
okay,
she's got it sorted.
Okay, good. Sorry, we ordered lunch as well, and it's downstairs. We need to get lunch. That's all
That is all the pre-written questions. I just want to thank everyone again who submitted a question, took the time to write that up for us.
We are running a bit over time. Maybe we'll pick one or two of the
let's do it.
and then we'll
have a chance to look over some of these.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Probably around here. To bounce off the faction question, can we get higher question? Okay, so from Admiral Cole, to bounce off the faction question, can we get higher tier crew for the faction collections? That's definitely something we can look into. If anything, I've actually kind of changed that recently because it was a bit unfair that the Pirate Collection had one legendary crew where others didn't. I'm afraid that would probably have to be a little further down the line. Once all of the collections are in a better state and we've got the other new collections in, which we haven't announced yet, then we'll be able to take a bit of a look at that. I think that's probably the best way to go. Okay, PSS2 question. When it's fully released, will accounts keep old progress from alpha and beta?
Ooh, this one, maybe. It's
wow.
it's well, when we do that full release, it's going to be one decision, but we're going to release a number of like major server updates,
right.
And at each one we could reset it for testing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of I think the options there. Don't expect to keep the account untouched for release, but we're also not guarantee we'll delete or reset. We just have to play it by ears at this stage.
Maybe.
If the if we've got the balance done perfect miraculously, we can keep it and we don't need to remove anything and reset everyone's progress. But I think based on our PSS experience, that's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you want us to keep it fair to
Yeah.
everything like that.
Mm.
So who knows? It could be based on a million things. So definitely something we need to look at there, I suppose, or
Yeah.
you guys need to look at there.
Great. I think maybe we'll do 2 more, and we'll
Sure,
have to.
Sure. Do you want me to help choose these?
Yeah.
Let's
go down to this.
I'll be the from Meet Murphy.
Meet Murphy. Okay.
I would love to hear some general thinking about the engines and where they stand. Currently, they are one of the most beneficial rooms per cost, but don't function like any other. I agree. This is something that I've raised many times. So, is there any thinking on making them a flare launching system, or perhaps closer to shields, where the evasion could work on power up? I've always felt that you could burn the engines, overcharge them, trying to get away from a missile. What do you think about that, Kilda?
So this thing we've actually been trialing different engine systems in the test servers and the test builds. Unfortunately, after trialing, because we tried a evasion charge system, so basically it's almost essentially like a shield but for missiles, but it's like slightly different way of working. But unfortunately, because it overlaps too much like a shield, it kind of cannibalizes from it, because the intention was from the beginning was that missiles is a means of bypassing shields, and it's supposed to be functionally different from the shields, and to make them the same it's kind of counterintuitive. So it kind of it makes it less likely that people want to use it, because it suddenly it becomes almost no different from it becomes a boring mechanic as well. So, but the good news is that in a recent explanation, I've tried a new formula for the engine calculations, and because one of the problems with the existing engine is that it's unreliable because of the RNG is not reliable. You get very unpredictable results, and players really didn't like that. But with the recent testing of this new formula, it's actually gotten very stable. So if it says 70%, for example, of the division, it will actually maintain a 70% hit rate reliably. So we're going to try that probably as the first step. And then if that is okay, I would probably say that that would be the only change. But I highly doubt we would switch to a charge-based system for the reasons mentioned previously.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
That's
makes
very
sense. It's good that you're looking at them too. That's something good for players to know.
Fantastic.
Have there been any discussions? Yeah, let's probably add this one.
So
I think it's come up before.
All right. So that's last question from the ...
Have there been discussions to create a save layout feature? Save layouts with the click of one button. Is this possible?
Yep, I can take this one. I think we've touched on this one a couple of months ago. This is a feature currently in PSS2 already. For PSS1, the closest thing is having multiple ships, multiple ship designs. It's a little bit of a, I think, design constraint. This one's a technical reason. So I think we want to support this feature, but we just haven't been able to support it on PSS1.
At this time, anyway.
There's
probably ways to do it. It's just it's not going to be easy. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So and as we have a lot of things in our pipeline, it's really hard to put any time into that. So but it's definitely in our.
We can look at it post 1.0. I think we really need to make sure that the core game's finalised. That it's something that we are very proud that every player will enjoy, rather than just hardcore, rather than just dedicated, rather than just casual. We really want to round out the game to be in a perfect state for 1.0, and then look at things like improving the UI, improving any kind of user beneficial, any kind of quality of life, all sorts of stuff like that. Definitely want to do it, but we unfortunately need to prioritize other things just to make sure we hit those targets that we've set for ourselves, to make sure that players are really enjoying the title as a whole. We can then make things a bit easier as we progress, I think.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. I think we have to wrap it up there. We've gone a little bit over time.
No, that's okay. We've had so many questions.
Oh.
Look, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's joined us, everyone that has posted a question. I just saw a question there real quickly. Yes, there are changes coming to the Void. Other than that, guys, thank you for being a PSS player. Thank you for captaining out there in space. Sending you feedback is really invaluable to us. It's something we really, really enjoy. Not just the positive stuff, the negative stuff is also really important. Never feel bad about posting that. It's all in the aims of improving the game, and that's something that we care about deeply. So thank you to everyone that spent the time submitting feedback, bug reports. We really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us.
Amazing. And check out, we got a new update coming out on Monday next week. So check that out. The server's been gone through a recent update as well. So check out the new features.
Yeah, there should be a lot coming in post. So thank you, Kilda. Thank you,
Thank
Zip.
you. See ya. Bye.